Well, are you ready to discuss this behemoth of a movie?
Yes, I am.
It's been a while. We haven't done one since Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Are you excited?
I am excited.
All right, let's talk a little Godzilla. This is not our first kaiju movie.
It's not.
We did Godzilla versus Monster Zero,
Yeah, we
or
did.
Invasion of the Astro Monster, whichever you prefer. Well, let's light this candle then.
Do it.
I did. You know what I didn't do? I'll tell you what I didn't do. Did up the volume. I know.
Can you all hear me?
Let's see if I did fix it in time. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder. I went to the wrong camera. Your viceroy of verisimilitude, your sommelier of cinema, Robert Meyer Burnett. But you're not here to see me. Otherwise, I mean, it would be my show. It's not my show. It's your show.
Yeah.
Who are
it's
you?
of yous.
What is okay?
I'm Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell. I'm the ace, the arbiter of cinematic excellence, and the enchantress of entertainment.
The enchantress of entertainment. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about another simultaneous release on HBO Max and in movie theaters, and it has been the biggest movie released since the pandemic started.
Yeah.
You know, I said on the John Campea show this movie was going to, in its 5-day opening, it would make between $40 and $50 million. It looks like it grossed $48 million domestically. So once again, Bobby knows what's up.
You know what's up.
I know what's up. Did you have a... And it looks like it's grossed $240 million internationally. Almost $300 million gross. This is like theaters are back, baby.
Yeah, but we can't go until we're vaccinated.
I know. But
Sorry.
I really would have liked to have seen this in a theater.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, tonight we have an interesting bottle of wine from Throg.
Yes, from Throg.
Throg sent us, this bottle of wine is a Bully Hill Vineyards wine, Baco Noir, Special Reserve, New York State from the Throgs. Look at that. Bully Hill.
Yeah.
Baco Noir. Our wines are an extension of the growers and the winery's commitment to quality. Why don't you give me your glass and we'll see just what that commitment is.
Yes, let's.
Let's check it out. Let's check out Bully Hill. I like the color. It has a richness to it. Or so does all wine. Have we ever had a bottle we didn't really like? I don't think so.
Only once.
Yeah, it was only one time.
But we didn't admit it on the show.
Yeah, we wouldn't admit that on the show. This is not a wine review show, so for us to bag on wine. Well, here's the return of Elizabeth. Elizabeth's 125.
125.
It's our second episode of our second year.
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing. Well, let's try the Bully Hill.
Bully Hill.
Mm. I like this.
Ooh.
It's nice.
Ooh, it's so tangy.
It is
love
tangy and it just goes down smooth. Well, Bully Hill, you got a big thumbs up from us.
This is so
The
good.
WINEning About Movies
and thank
crew.
you, Throg.
Yeah, Throg.
This is a really good. I really like it. It's almost like having a Cabbage Patch Kids.
What?
It's so tart.
Oh, it's so tart. Oh, Cabbage Patch Kids, you mean the candies.
The candy.
Of course, the candies. I'm like, was that what it was like to be pregnant? Have you called your babies Cabbage Patch Kids? It's like having, I didn't follow. No. Now I follow. Now I'm like, oh.
Candy.
I understand now.
The tart stuff.
The tart candy. Those are Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids.
When you said Cabbage Patch Kids, I'm like,
that was
what?
a doll in the 80s that everyone was crazy
I know what
about.
a Cabbage Patch doll is, but like when you said it's like having Cabbage Patch Kids, I'm like, is that some baby euphemism that I'm unfamiliar with, being childless myself?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because, you know, it could get wacky on the show sometimes. Sometimes you're a little wacky, like you just don't know what's happening.
You just don't know.
So, Elizabeth, I am a lifelong kaiju fan. I like kaiju movies since I was a kid. My favorite was Rodan. I loved Rodan because it was like a mystery horror film that turned into a kaiju movie and ended with great sadness.
I'm sorry for
in
you.
the fiery fountain, Mount Fuji. So, this is not the first Godzilla versus King Kong movie.
Yes, I know that.
There was King Kong versus Godzilla, and then King Kong Escapes that Toho made in the 60s.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
Yeah, you haven't? Well, I own them. You're welcome to watch them if you'd like.
I'm a King Kong fan.
Well, you know, what's really
I
interesting...
even like the remake with Jack Black.
That's Peter Jackson's Jack Black movie. Peter Jackson's... What are you looking at?
He was like that the whole time in the movie, Jack Black. He was like...
Well, that would be Peter
Don't you
Jackson's...
remember?
I do. I remember from 2006, I think. So King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong. I, grew up with King Kong, the Willis O'Brien, the first King Kong, 1933. And then, of course,
Yes,
we had
I love that
John
film.
Gillerman directed King Kong that Dino De Laurentiis produced in the 70s, 76, with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange and Charles Grodin.
I did see that one, too.
Captain of the Petrox Explorer. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Okay, let me just get this off my chest. King Kong is a romantic tragedy waiting to happen.
Of course.
And he's not a kaiju.
He's not. And okay.
I mean, he never was. He's a lover.
He's a
star-crossed
lover.
lover that's doomed to die in a hail of bullets, whether they're from a biplane.
He's our kin. He's an ape.
He's an ape.
Yeah, so when they took him to put into these movies, I mean...
Well, they had to fundamentally change
Come on.
the conceit of King Kong.
Yeah, and they made him huge. And
He
then
was
he
huge.
becomes a titan.
Well, apparently he already was a Titan. He was like the Titan.
But they hijacked his origin story.
They did. Now, how did you feel about that?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Why not?
I mean, it'd be cool if King Kong were just himself in these films. Like, he was just King Kong.
Well, and they also give him the personality of the King Kong that we know.
Right.
Like they've blown him up to John's giant size.
It's true.
But he's not really. I mean, in this one, instead of having Fay Ray or Jessica Lange or
He's a
Naomi
little
Watts,
girl.
he had a little girl that he could talk to via sign language.
And that was very sweet. I really liked their relationship.
I like their relationship too. But they gave this backstory. Here's what I have to say. All
Yeah.
right. I thought this movie was racist. It was racist against Godzilla.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. This movie does not. It makes Godzilla kind of a dumb animal.
But isn't he a dumb animal?
No, or she.
She.
I found this movie was really King Kong's film. The movie was really about King Kong. It opens. We literally meet King Kong
Of course,
getting up
because
in the morning.
we relate to King Kong.
I know we relate to King Kong, but I can relate to Godzilla too.
Really?
I can.
You're a cold-blooded reptile?
Well,
Radioactive?
I think Godzilla is the Earth Mother. Godzilla does have a kid, Minya, right here. Look, here's Godzilla's kid, Minya.
I've never met Minya, but
That's
it's,
Minya.
it's really cute.
That's Godzilla. Oh, he talks like this. Godzilla steps on his tail to make him breathe nuclear fire. Because he can only breathe smoke rings. Boop, 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 boop. And then Godzilla steps on his tail and he can finally breathe the nuclear fire.
Is that like a video game?
No, it's in a movie. Minya's in a couple movies.
This is cute.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, Godzilla is a parent. Godzilla has nurturing instincts. Whether Godzilla's a male or female.
Yes, and it did help the humans in the last film.
Well, it really protects.
And even in this film, it's not mad at the humans. It's mad at one human, and it's mad at.
Well, it's mad that Ghidorah has been bastardized, and used. They've used. You think the Titans have been dispatched because of Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Right.
And this movie was Godzilla. The last movie was Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and this movie basically says Godzilla's really not king. King Kong was king all the time.
Well, it's in his name.
I know.
If you're going to bring King Kong into your movie, first of all, okay, we're all going to align with King Kong because we're humans and he's our cousin. And in his name is king, so he is the king.
Godzilla's been to space.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Godzilla's been to space. Godzilla knows Rodan and Mothra and knows Jet Jaguar.
Okay, but it's a reptile.
Yeah, but he's got more friends than Kong does.
And I don't think he was done dirty in this film.
I think he was done dirty.
No, I really don't.
He just shows up. He basically.
They didn't show him as the bad guy. And he's just defending his turf. He didn't want to be replaced. And in the end, they don't kill him. They actually get King Kong to save him.
Yeah, King Kong has to save Godzilla.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla's movie, and King Kong has to
Well,
roll
King
up
Kong
and save him.
didn't do it by himself. I mean, he went to kill the Mecha Godzilla, and he was unable to. And then it was the kids in the tower, the kid who poured the whiskey in the computer, that caused.
Okay, let's before we talk about the overall, let's talk about the plot of this movie.
Okay, let's.
So Monarch, that we've seen in the last 3 Godzilla movies, Monarch is an agency that monitors the Titans, the kaiju. They have a monitoring station, so somehow Kong is living on Skull Island. And Monarch has actually built a giant Truman Show dome on Skull Island.
Oh, that was on Skull Island?
Yeah, it's
'Cause
on
I wasn't sure where it was.
It's on Skull Island. Like,
Why would
I mean,
you do
Kong's
that?
been there for decades. We saw on Kong Skull Island, which takes place in the early 70s.
That's where he's from.
That's where he's from.
That's where he's from.
So
he's
why-
not from the underground.
No, well,
the
apparently
upside down.
no, from the Hollow Earth.
The upside down.
That was where all the Titans are from, and somehow they got out.
Yeah, he's
from the
not
Hollow
one
Earth.
of them. He's not. He's from Skull Island.
No, Skull Island was where he resides. He's actually this movie tells you he's from the Hollow Earth,
This movie hijacked his origin story.
and I would say it retconned his origin story. This movie was a retconning of King Kong.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about
So that doesn't become his story just
Well,
because it's in this movie.
I mean, I have many questions.
I think this is an alternate universe for King Kong.
Really? So you don't believe that this is not canonical to the last
No.
3 monster movies?
Well, I mean, in the Godzilla universe.
Well, in the American Monsterverse, the Legendary Pictures Monsterverse, which includes Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and now Godzilla vs. Kong. You know what those movies have in common? 3 of them start with the word Godzilla. This movie, King Kong, it's not Kong versus Godzilla. It's Godzilla versus Kong, and he's a guest star in his own movie.
It's true.
Just saying. I just want to point out. I'm trying to understand this. I'm asking you this question. Why, if Godzilla is living on Skull Island, did they have to build this enormous facility?
You mean King Kong?
I mean, pardon me, King Kong. Yeah. Why? If Kong's
Yeah. That was
now,
weird.
How long did it take them to
Yes,
build this giant containment
exactly.
with this holographic ceiling? What was King Kong doing while they're building that?
Exactly.
The last time we saw King Kong was on Skull Island, in the 70s. Now this is in the present day. That was like 45 years ago. So he's just chilling.
He's chilling because that's where he's from.
Kong's chillaxing on Skull. No, he's from the Hollow Earth. I don't mind that. But he's chillaxing, and then what does he do when this gigantic construction team comes in and builds this containment thing? Like, what was he doing? Like, okay, just come fuck up my island and build this giant facility, and you expect me to live inside of it?
Exactly. How'd they get him in there? They lured him in with the little girl?
I guess, with the little girl, whatever. But I don't understand.
Was the little girl in the last film?
No.
She wasn't.
No, because, no.
Where did she come from?
Millie Bobby Brown was in the last film.
Yeah.
She was like a native to Skull Island, probably. I mean, but you have to ask yourself, why did they build this
facility? Was she an orphan or does she have family?
Apparently she's an orphan. I don't know.
Apparently.
I just don't understand.
But, yeah, why would they build the dome, first of all? And second of all, how all of a sudden is the chick from the last film now in charge of King Kong?
Well, you mean
the girl that looks like
Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah.
Well, she's not in charge. Her dad is part of Monarch, so she's part of the monitoring agency. She's not in charge of King Kong.
Oh.
She's just in school. But so I have many questions. Like, this movie opens, and already I have many questions in my mind. But let's just put those. I'll go with it.
Wait. No, you're misunderstanding me. The chick with the long black hair,
Right.
who was with the kid.
Yeah. Why is she in charge of Kong?
Yeah.
I don't know. She works
Because
for
in the
Monarch.
last film, she was dealing with Godzilla.
Yeah.
Wasn't she?
I don't know. Probably. Well, either way, yes. I mean, so that's the thing. So this movie posits that can only be one alpha titan left, and that King Kong and Godzilla are the only ones left on the Earth, and that
they're the only ones left.
Apparently, they're the only ones left because all the other kaiju were killed in the last movie.
Oh, right.
They're killed in Godzilla or King of the Monsters.
But what about the ones in the Upside Down?
Well, yeah, do those count? I mean, apparently there's no Titans down there. There's only there's monsters, but they're like secondary. They're B-list. They're not A-list.
B-list, but they looked radioactive.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything?
That would make them Titans, no?
No, they don't have to be. You don't have to be radioactive to be a Titan. Godzilla has radioactivity because he has nuclear fire.
And where did he get that?
I guess he was born with it. But that's the thing. They've been retconning the Toho. It doesn't. That's why I'm confused. Like I don't. So in this movie, Godzilla, there's two Titans. King Kong has been on Skull Island for a long, long, long time. At least.
Well, in my mind, that's where he's from. He was born there.
Apparently, he's not.
Okay.
He wasn't, or I don't know. Maybe he was. Why is Zoe calling one word? I think she might have even called me. Or maybe not. I don't know.
I'll message her.
Could be a disaster. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just a little confused. But let's go with it. So then you've got there's like three plots going on here.
Yeah.
You've got Skellen Skarsgård, and you've got the evil French dude, and the Japanese guy.
The French dude.
The guy who runs Apex Cybernetics.
He's French, the bad guy?
I don't know. He's just a Euro bad guy.
Why would you think he's French?
Because every bad guy is French. So anyway.
No, what?
So no. So we got three different plot lines going. We have the Kong plot line, which is really the major plot line. Mm-hmm. All right. We have the Kong plot line. Then we have that we start from in the beginning. Then we have the Millie Bobby Brown and her friends plot line, and they are then that converge, and the conspiracy theorist guy.
The Millie Bobby Brown. That's 11 from
11. Yeah, we got the 11 plot line, and her friend.
Was she in the last film?
Yes. Come on, don't you remember?
Barely. I just remember the ending.
Okay, well, yeah, she was in the last film, so she's now.
Well, now they've.
She's Coach Taylor's daughter. So 11 is Coach Taylor's daughter. Coach Taylor runs Monarch.
Right. So
we get there. So what we don't know is that evil French dude and Apex, this organization, they have taken the remains of they've taken the remains of Ghidorah. Okay?
Ghidorah.
The three-headed monster. The Astro monster. Ghidorah.
Oh, they have the remains? Where did you see that?
Did we just watch this movie together or what? So yes, they have the remains. So what they did was they took a brain, one of Ghidorah's brains, and they put it in Mechagodzilla.
Yes, right.
They built Mechagodzilla.
Yes, they did.
And then the other brain they're using, I don't know what happened to the third brain.
To control...
They've got a control hub,
where's
and
the third one?
The Japanese pilot, I don't know. And then there's the Japanese pilot that interfaces with the controls using the brain, and they've built Mechagodzilla.
Using the brain, but the thing is, they show it in a skeleton, in a skull.
Right. Visually, I guess so. That's what you do.
But if there's no skin in anything, then wouldn't the brains rot out too?
Apparently, no. They're powering it up. They're keeping the brain on, working. I don't know. You just go with it.
Okay.
Okay, so they've got Mechagodzilla, and it is kind of, they need the power source from the cursed Earth, the hollow Earth, or whatever.
Yes, they can control it, but it's not. They want it to be more powerful.
Yes, they don't have enough power to run this thing.
Yeah.
And they need the power from the hollow Earth.
Now, why does he want to do this?
I'm unclear as to why. They want to control the Earth. They want to dominate Godzilla.
Yeah.
And do they know about King Kong? I'm a little, and now I've watched this movie twice, and I'm an astute viewer, and I'm watching this, and I'm just thinking now, okay. And then we have the black guy who's the conspiracy theorist, who is the kaiju fan, and he's been working for Apex for a long time, and he's been infiltrating their facility.
we don't know if he's pretending that he works there or if he's worked there.
No, he says he's worked there for a while. He's infiltrated it, and he's trying to find out what they're doing at Apex.
And then he has this podcast.
Yeah, that it's a kaiju podcast.
That 11 listens to.
Yes, because 11, like, what's interesting is, why does she need to listen to like, weren't the monsters fighting in downtown Boston? Like, do people not know, like, the world, like,
I guess she wants more information. Like, when you're interested in a subject, then you seek out more information.
But she was on the front lines of the biggest kaiju battles in history, and now she's back in school listening to some dude's podcast. Like, she knows.
Yeah, but he's on the inside. He's finding more information.
Yes, he's finding more information. Either way, now, did you care about those people, Millie Bobby Brown and the conspiracy theorists and all that?
I mean, I like her because of Stranger Things, so
okay.
He was a little annoying. The conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he was.
He was kind of annoying, and I think that he was meant to be annoying.
Yes.
So.
And you know what? There's a grand tradition in kaiju movies to have, like, a couple of goofy characters. Goofy scientists, goofy secondary characters. So it does fit in with the genre of kaiju.
Totally.
So I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in there. So in the opening of the movie, this facility, Apex, unbeknownst to us, is building this technology. They have this technology in Florida. And Godzilla attacks this facility because it senses Ghidorah's mind. I mean, it knows that somehow there's another predator, like there's another Titan out there that Godzilla thought he vanquished, but when they do this test, they turn on this machine, like,
he can sense it.
He can sense it.
That they're trying to replace him.
They're trying to replace him, so he comes and attacks this facility, gets shut down.
Now, my question is, why did they make a copy of Godzilla? Why didn't they just make their own creation?
Well, maybe because structurally they looked at Godzilla and said, we don't understand why something this big works, but it works. Yeah, it's not. It's all a little bit nebulous. Like, and I think the big takeaway from this movie is whatever's happening in the human world doesn't really matter.
I guess not. It's all about the monsters. But the only thing is, like, there was so much time spent on the story. There really wasn't that much monster time.
Monster time.
And this is about the monsters. And I was disappointed that they spent so much time telling the story. And I have to say, the first half hour was like, okay, let's get to the monsters. Come on. Come on, I want to see some monsters. I want to see monster action. And it took at least half an hour, if not more.
You want monster action? Well, you get the initial attack.
Well, if I'm going to watch a monster movie, then I want to see some monster action.
I feel the same way. If I want to watch a monster movie, I want to see some monster action.
I don't want all the gobbledygook. Gobbledygook.
I'm with you there. And frankly, I have to say, I think the weakest part of this movie is, I mean, people say that, the human stuff is whatever. But I think the human stuff is not whatever in these movies, because if you think about it, and I use this example all the time, in Godzilla vs. Monster Zero that we watched on this show, the plot of the movie is humans have discovered a planet X, out past Jupiter, and the astronauts go, and when they land on Planet X, they meet aliens, and the aliens are like, look, we have a monster problem. We have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, is laying waste to our planet. Can we borrow Rodan and Godzilla to vanquish our problem?
Yeah.
And Earth's like, sure, in the spirit of friendship, borrow Godzilla and Rodan. And it turns out, the aliens are lying. They brainwash Godzilla and Rodan and King Ghidorah, and they launch all three monsters in a bid to invade the Earth.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that is easy to understand.
Easy to understand.
I get what's going on.
There was
I'm like,
too much.
All of these things are running around. Like, I understand, okay, that you've got King Kong who's living his life on Skull Island. They've built this giant containment thing, which I don't understand. Like, and King Kong at the beginning clearly.
And then why would Godzilla? They thought they were protecting him because they thought Godzilla would come and attack him. But why? Why would he?
Well, because he's I guess Kong has grown to such size, because Kong used to be little. He wasn't as big as he was. Like in Kong Skull Island, he's a much smaller Kong. Now he's grown into Titan size. He is now a mature Titan. At least this is the way I figured it. He's a mature Titan. He's now of age. He's become a Titan, so Godzilla can sense King Kong or whatever. And maybe the containment thing is the only thing that's protecting Kong from Godzilla. That's why they built the containment field. So if they didn't build this thing, Godzilla would have come to Skull Island. They would have had a knockdown drag out, and Kong probably would have been killed.
But do they randomly just kill each other?
Well, apparently the Titans fight. I mean, that's all I can figure.
Okay. So why didn't they protect Godzilla too? They're just protecting Kong.
Because this movie is racist against Godzilla. This movie basically has made Godzilla as a guest star in his own movie because everyone likes Kong. Everyone likes Kong.
Because he's our cousin.
Right, so Kong's our cousin, so he's almost a human. I like Kong, so immediately it's like Godzilla is somehow, oh, we got to protect Kong. Like, why, like you said, why would Godzilla fight Kong? I mean, other than the fact that there can only be certain Titans. S-Beam sent us a look at that, a controller, a Nintendo controller sticker. Thank you for that, S-Beam. Do you know S-Beam? I mean, so I am confused by the situation as it is presented in the film with Kong, with Godzilla, with Monarch having this monitoring base.
Right.
So I'm already starting this movie wondering why.
It's a little strange, but I don't think that it's racist against Godzilla. I'm sorry.
I think, it's not racist, it's speciest. It's specious. This is more interested in primates than it is in the kaiju themselves.
Well, yeah.
Because you know what? Kong was a primate, and he's grown into a kaiju now because he's so big.
Yeah, but Kong is cognizant of humans, and he connects with humans, so he will not purposely hurt or destroy humans. Godzilla, on the other hand, doesn't care. It just goes for whatever it wants, and if humans are in the way, it's going to destroy them.
That is correct. But, I mean, Godzilla has no beef with Kong. Like, Kong's hanging out. It's not like
so
Godzilla
why
can travel through the oceans. The Earth is Godzilla's playground.
Yeah.
Kong he has his island. He's chilling out.
He's chilling.
He doesn't need to go anywhere. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, what the deal is. Like, they're like,
either.
So anyway, we got Randall Flagg. We got Randall Flagg, who's written a book. He's like a disgraced author. Wrote a book about the Hollow Earth. An evil French scientist. evil French industrialist, the French Elon Musk, who his company Apex has built like, they want to go to the Hollow Earth to harvest this energy that is apparently just there. Like, is it being generated from the Earth's
radioactive
core? Radioactive
it's
energy.
The same stuff that is in Godzilla.
And apparently, the last time when Randall Flagg's brother went to the Hollow Earth, they didn't expect the gravity inversion, and everybody died. Like,
so how did they survive it this time?
Well, they had those ships.
Those special ships?
Elon Musk had built, and that technology was like decades in advance of anything. Like in the original, in the MonsterVerse, like Godzilla, it was regular technology. And I know in kaiju movies they have the maser cannons and all that, but these things, these flying machines, seem like they were 100 years too advanced for this movie. And I understand they've always got cool technology in these movies, so I'm going to go with that.
I kind of liked the spaceships.
I mean, they were cool. I mean, they look cool.
Cool.
And then evil French daughter.
The guy's not French. I don't know why you keep saying
Evil
that.
French daughter, and the hot evil girl who's there to oversee the she's clearly got French blood. Evil French girl. So they get Randolph Flagg to lead the Skarsgård. Alexander Skarsgård is going to lead. True Blood's going to lead he's going to lead this mission to the Hollow Earth.
I have to say, Hollow Earth was the Upside Down. Okay, first of all, the girl from Stranger Things is in here. Okay, and then a creature comes. They release a creature to fight with the Mecha Godzilla, and I swear it was one of the creatures from the Upside Down.
Could be.
It looked just like one of the creatures from the Upside Down.
Well, I mean, all of this, the Hollow Earth stuff. So you got different things going on. So there's Godzilla and Kong. Titans are going to battle. That's good enough for me. Like Godzilla, now that Kong has matured into kaiju status, he's now become a Titan. He's grown into, but they don't really get into that. And then, okay, we got the whole Hollow Earth and all the rigmarole that happens. They take Kong to lead them into the Hollow Earth.
Right.
But don't they already know where the entrance to the Hollow Earth is? Like, I guess King Kong's going to show them.
They needed King Kong to show them
where the energy
where
is.
the energy thing
is. And how would they know? Like, why would anybody think that King Kong knows his way? Like,
exactly. They were just guessing. And they even said that. We don't know.
Yeah, and I just, like, I'm watching all this and I'm like, this seems... See, now that the Hollow Earth exists, and you look that there's structures that are actually built inside the Hollow Earth. There's like temples and things.
It was King Kong's lair.
Yeah, but he build that?
Because he had his tomahawk down there.
Well, yeah, it was like...
And then he had to charge it like you charge your iPhone.
But my question is that King Kong was smaller on Skull Island.
Yeah.
He grew up there. So yet this hammer, his Stormbreaker, Thor's hammer that he has down there, he wields it as the size he is now. But when King Kong was much smaller, who was wielding this? Was it his dad?
Maybe it was.
Was it Super King Kong? Like, it couldn't have been our Kong. Are they asking us?
Maybe it grew to fit his size.
I don't know, man. I mean, how would he wield?
Anything goes in this film.
That's the thing. I'm constantly being bombarded with questions about this movie, and I'm trying to watch it because I'm enjoying it.
Well, the whole time I was asking you questions, I was like, wait, what?
But it just like, and I'm looking at this place, like this Hollow Earth, like all of the Titans. That was a pretty cushy place. Like, if you're living in the Hollow Earth, it's beautiful down there.
It was pretty cool.
Why would you leave?
That was interesting, and the way that he like went from one side to the other. Yeah, cool.
I mean, because what? You get to a certain part in the Hollow Earth, and the gravity of Earth changes. It's like the gravity is inverted because.
I mean, if you're in the center, then
they weren't in the center because that's molten magma and all that.
Well, not in this film.
Well, they don't go all the way to the center.
Why would there be a Hollow Earth anyway? Like, that's gobbledygook.
That said, I mean, I'm watching all this, and I have question after question after question after question. Apparently, Apex has built a maglev system also through the middle of the Earth, where you can take a car in a subway thing from their base in Florida and go to Hong Kong.
Right.
Well, who built that?
Very quickly.
Very quickly. Who built that? You know
exactly.
How long
wouldn't they like have to build their freeway through Hollow Earth?
Or maybe it just stays.
Hollow Earth just a tiny, tiny little section underground?
I don't know, but I had lots of questions.
Me too.
And I don't like having lots of questions when I'm watching a kaiju movie. You know, they're very straightforward. They're very straightforward. I am totally confused by everything that was going on. The sci-fi fantasy premise of this movie is deeply flawed to me. Yeah. I have many questions that I could not get over, and and you know what? It made me tune out. Like I'm like, I loved the monster battles are cool. Like the second battle when King Kong and Godzilla first meet, when they're taken in the water, was awesome.
It was awesome.
That was awesome. Like, I'm watching this.
But it was so frustrating. It's like they're like, let King Kong go so he can protect us, and the guy is like, well, if I do that, then we'll lose King Kong. And they're like, you're gonna lose him because Godzilla's gonna kill him. I thought that was so dumb.
Well, they're also in the middle of the ocean.
I was like, this is so dumb. Let him go.
Kong can't go underwater indefinitely. He's gonna drown.
I just thought that was just really dumb reasoning. And then he had to swim because the boat's, upside down. He had to swim over to let him go. It was the dumbest thing. I was like,
yeah, I mean,
why wouldn't you let him go when your enemy is coming towards you?
I don't know. And also, like, they knew that Godzilla would come. Mm-hmm. And yet later in the movie, they show helicopters flying with Godzilla, with King Kong. I mean, why are they honest? Knowing Godzilla swims in the ocean?
Yeah.
Why would you take Kong on a boat on the ocean?
Why would you do? That's what I was thinking. I was like, take him over land.
Take him over land, or take the helicopters and fly him wherever you're going.
Where were they going? To the North Pole?
Well, they were going to Antarctica, where the opening for the Hollow Earth was. They're taking him there.
From Skull Island. And where is Skull Island?
I don't know, but these are things that bothered me.
Put him in a giant airplane.
Well, he's too big for an airplane, you know. Can't. But they flew him before. You know, they flew him and they drugged him and flew him, and I guess it was too long of a trip. But you know, if they need to get someplace pretty fast, Godzilla can swim a lot faster than those boats can go. What did they think was going to happen?
I was thinking too, like, why are they on the water?
I'm like, this isn't this.
That's like Godzilla's. Like he can maneuver in the water, but you're taking a giant ape, over the water.
And I don't think Kong has had swimming lessons. Like,
No.
he did not grow up. He didn't go to the Boys and Girls Club.
I mean, a mammal can only hold their breath for so long.
That's right. And if like Godzilla, like he clearly he was fighting in the water, and he had to get up and breathe again, otherwise he was going to drown. None of these people had a good plan.
It was a bad plan.
It was a bad plan. They're going to take him to the Hollow Earth, a bad plan, across the ocean. Like, you would think that they would find Godzilla and distract him with something. I don't know what they would do, but distract Godzilla and then move Kong. Because once Godzilla's on the move, they're fucked.
Yeah.
And look what happened. How many people die in this movie? Tens of thousands of people die in this movie.
Yeah. Because they made stupid mistakes.
All of the humans do stupid things in this whole movie. They just, everybody's dumb. You know, and I understand, you know, you watch these animals fight, but I like it better if they're fighting because they're being controlled by aliens from Planet X. Then I'm like, okay, I understand that. But why, like, King Kong's gonna be, bruh, like, we don't need to fight. Like, I understand, you're Godzilla.
Yes, why are they enemies?
Kong is smart enough, he does it once before, he's like, look, I yield to you. You have to, one Titan has to yield to another. King Kong's like, bruh, I just want to be on my island. I just chill out here. I'm chillaxing. You can be the Alpha Titan. I don't want this job. I want my bananas.
But
I want to.
King Kong isn't even a Titan.
No, well, he grew into one apparently, and that's why I'm watching this. And I'm like, you're not giving me as an audience member. I don't have enough reason. Like I hate to say this. I was so excited for this movie. I just didn't buy it. Like, there's nothing. I didn't buy it. And I think that's a failing of me. And it made me doubt my own credibility as a critic, as a pundit, as a movie watcher, as a fan. I'm watching this film and I'm like, wait a minute. You people have set up this scenario that I don't buy. I don't believe in it. I cannot suspend my disbelief.
They made it too complicated. It should have just been simple. And then it would have been a little more enjoyable.
Yeah, and of course, like, you know, they're building this they build Mechagodzilla, and you go to the Hollow Earth, there's some really beautiful imagery in the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, the Hollow Earth is cool.
I love the Hollow Earth stuff. Like, I would have sat there for hours and watched Kong just roam around the Hollow Earth, like, explore, run up
and show us what's down there.
Where the gravity switches, you know, he picks up the little blue thing and flicks it.
Yeah, that was
I'm
cool.
like, I'm all into that. Like,
Me too.
why not do that? Like, and then, of course, you know, Godzilla is drilling down into the Hollow Earth with his nuclear fire at the end.
Yeah, and at first I was like, what is that? I didn't know it was Godzilla.
Why is he doing that?
Yeah, why is he doing that?
And, like, if Godzilla if all the Titans came from the Hollow Earth,
yeah,
why wouldn't Godzilla get down to the Hollow Earth?
Exactly, I was thinking the same thing.
Chill the fuck out, like, hey, I'm home too.
That's his home too.
Yeah,
why didn't he ever want to go down there?
I don't understand.
He never goes down there.
Well, they should have gone down there because Kong's fighting with things like, why wasn't Godzilla in the Hollow Earth? Wouldn't you want to get Godzilla? Like, Godzilla, like, he swims away at the end of the movie.
Instead of luring King Kong down there, lure Godzilla down there.
And Godzilla would have been like, hey, this is great.
I'm home.
I got all this great space. I can chill out. I never made, you know, and I can eat all these winged serpents.
Right.
I mean, what are those? And those winged serpents, they're snakes. What do they do when they're tired of flying? They have no feet. Like, how do they land?
Well,
like,
right.
In the air, they just...
Well, they're snakes. They're pythons.
I guess
he was wrapping itself around Kong.
I guess. You know, I mean...
With wings. They have wings.
I don't think they really thought through a lot of the plotting of this movie because they thought, well, it doesn't matter as long as we get to the monster battles.
It's kind of like the giant snake at the end of... Oh, I shouldn't ruin it for people.
Yeah, don't know. But so... And then you have the Battle of Hong Kong. You know, now Godzilla has come to Hong Kong because Ghidorah's brain is active. You know, he feels that, oh my God, there's another Titan around. Like, he doesn't care about King Kong. He now knows that Ghidorah is alive, so Godzilla comes to Hong Kong to fight what he thinks is Ghidorah, and Kong is there like, why are they fighting? Godzilla would be like, yo, Kong, Ghidorah's around. I can feel him. I can sense he's bigger than you. He's got 3 heads. I thought I killed him in the last movie, but he's here, and you don't, I don't need to deal with you right now. Like, there's no reason we're going to fight. There's somebody out there. Like, why does Godzilla not know this? You know, and they have this knockdown. Why are King Kong and Godzilla fighting? Like, King Kong's like, bruh, I don't need to fight you.
Yeah.
But he does. Like, and he has, I've got Stormbreaker now, and now I'm in, it's charged with energy.
Right,
Like,
you had to charge it like you charge your iPhone.
Yeah, like here we let me stick this axe that, by the way, I've never wielded before because I wasn't big enough to wield it when I lived in the.
Right.
I was a baby in here, so I let me. This was my dad's, so let me put it up here to get energized. Like it's just all of this stuff to me. It was a little, even for a kaiju movie, was gobbledygook.
Yeah, but aren't they all a little silly?
Yes. But there's, as Dieter Bastian would say, there is good gobbledygook, and there's trash gobbledygook.
All right, Dieter.
And kaiju movies are either good gobbledygook or they're bad gobbledygook.
What does he think of this one?
He liked this. He gave it an 8, 9.
Oh,
I think
thinks it's good gobbledygook.
He liked this. Most people have liked it. They like.
Oh, really?
But I found myself, I couldn't. The monster battles were great, but I had too many questions going into these monster battles.
So many questions.
And I didn't like that. Like, I don't want my own imagination and my own intellect getting in the way of watching 2 giant monsters beat the hell out of each other. Like, I didn't feel that way in Pacific Rim. I watched Pacific Rim, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It made sense.
Totally made sense. I totally got it. I never was like, what's going on? I got it.
Right.
100%. This movie, I'm like, come on, man. Come on, man. Why you gotta do me like this?
Just like you, I was checking out. I was like, okay.
I know. I found myself.
And then I would come back and I was like, what's happening?
Well,
Rob,
none of it.
What's happening right now?
Well, yeah, and that was the thing. I've watched this movie twice, and I felt myself checking out the whole time because in this movie, I didn't feel that there was anything in it that, like, even in Godzilla versus the Astro Monster. Are they going to defeat the aliens? How are they going to defeat the aliens? Like, what's going to happen? Are Godzilla and Rodan going to snap out of their alien control and take on Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster?
Right.
Are they going to do it? And that's all I need to know. And I'm like, following this, the plot works for me. Rodan, I never had questions. I'm like, I get it. I totally understand what's happening in this movie. This film, of all the kaiju movies I've seen, and everyone's like, oh, it doesn't matter. But it does matter. Gobbledygook needs good plotting just as well. I mean, a good B movie, a good kaiju movie, it needs good plotting, good character motivation like any other movie.
It needs to make some kind of sense.
And you know, while I felt the battle of Hong Kong was pretty cool. It's not like the battle in Pacific Rim where you have a Jaeger pick up the pilot picks up an oil tanker and uses it as a bat against a kaiju. It wasn't like that.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool because, like, all the neon lights.
Oh yeah, no,
buildings, it was cool. It was colorful, and I thought it was interesting.
By the way, they don't even show, like, they show a couple of shots of people running into a.
One shot.
Yeah, one shot. I wanted to see people getting stomped on.
Right.
I wanted to see mass casualties. This was I mean, how many buildings got destroyed in this movie?
So many.
Half of Hong Kong is gone, and you know, people are dying en masse.
Yeah.
But there was no, like, it's silly to say, but, like, you know, when you watch a Rocky movie and Rocky's fighting Apollo Creed, they're fainting. There's, like, strategy to it. This was kind of a free-for-all battle that I wasn't engaged. Like, they didn't have, like, interesting set pieces within the fights. Like, sometimes, like, Godzilla doesn't do a dance. You know, he dances, and sometimes he jumps up, he throws his feet out, and he slides along his tail. Does a Godzilla jump and take some dude out with his 2 feet. I mean, I'm like, and then you cheer.
Right.
I wasn't cheering in the battles. I mean, right. I liked these. They were fun to watch.
He did use his tail in the ocean.
Right. That was cool.
Yeah.
Because you're watching things that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like they'd have tail cam and that was cool. But for the most part, I found myself, of all of the monsters, like, a lot of people didn't like King of the Monsters. You know, I love the last one, King of the Monsters, that we went and saw. And we went and saw it at the Cinerama. We went and saw it at the ArcLight with Mike Doherty, the director.
Yeah, that was the movie right before this.
Yeah. I was enjoying that.
Yeah, that was fun.
I enjoyed that, and I wanted to enjoy this movie as much. Mm-hmm. And I think that this was my least favorite of the 3, or of the 4 now, legendary MonsterVerse movies, because I just didn't love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what did you think of it? Overall, were you entertained?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. There were some interesting parts. I like the goofy stuff. It was overall.
But I mean, literally, the characters are. One of them takes a glass of whiskey and dumps it on the computer,
and that stops.
Mechagodzilla. You know, Mechagodzilla was fearsome. I like the design of Mechagodzilla. It was cool. Mechagodzilla like breaks away from having a pilot, and even that was so easy for the. And I'm asking, like you, I'm like, why did you build Mechagodzilla?
Yeah, why did they build it?
Did you build it to save the world?
Well, that's what he says. He says like he wanted to have something to be more powerful than Godzilla that can protect the humans. That was his excuse. But that's it. That's all we got. There was no other explanation. And even the girl, 11, she's like, but we were all fine. Like, Godzilla was calm and leaving us alone.
Right.
And you just stirred the pot, and now you made Godzilla pissed. And here we are. We're all going to die. Well, thanks a lot, evil dude.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that the evil rich French Elon Musk, you'd think that French Elon Musk would know these things. Like, why doesn't Apex consult with Monarch?
Yeah.
Like, hey, since you guys are Monarch and you've been monitoring these things, what do you think about my idea of building a Mechagodzilla? Monarch would have said, well, if you're using Ghidorah's brains, Godzilla might think that, that's an Apex Alpha Titan again, so come after you. Maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you'd think that they would, like if you have an organization that is studying these things, wouldn't you go to that organization and be like, guys, I'm thinking about making this thing
Right.
I mean, I feel bad. I feel like I wanted to love this movie.
Yeah.
I was so excited about it, and I didn't, and I've watched it twice, and I'm like, I don't need to see this movie ever again. And I'm like,
you're not going to buy it on physical media?
I don't think so. I will. I mean, maybe.
No, you don't.
Because the monster battles are kind of cool to watch.
Know. But you have to wait a half an hour before you can get to the monster battle.
Well, not on physical media.
And then you have to wait another half an hour.
You can just click to the battles and watch. I mean, I might watch those. They reference. I mean, I can't not have it.
It's streaming.
That's true, but I don't know. I felt that I was very let down by this movie. And I'm the first person to be I am an apologist for these kinds of movies. This is exactly the kind of movie I should be loving. I should love this movie. And I'm wondering, is it because I'm nearing my birthday, which is next month, and I'm just one step closer to death, that I feel like I become a monster snob about my monster movies? I don't know.
Monster movies need to be simple. They don't need to be that complex.
You know what? That's what... They need to be
simple. We want to see monsters fighting or doing whatever they're going to do.
I think that
it was too much story. It was like half an hour in. That's when you finally see something happen.
Well, and even the story that was there, I didn't buy it. I'm like, you people are idiots.
I didn't buy it either.
Everybody was doing stupid things.
They were.
From the beginning, building.
But most monster movies, they're doing stupid things. It's not even that. It's like there were too many threads going, and it just didn't even add up.
No, like when we're in the Hollow Earth, this is like a huge turn of events. Like in the beginning, some dude has used Ghidorah's brains and has created Mechagodzilla. Yeah. That could be enough plot.
Yeah.
But no, let's tie it into the Hollow Earth. Let's get into the Hollow Earth. Well, what does the Hollow Earth have to really do with? It's a side quest.
It is
to keep you away from the monsters battling. Like, why not just make a movie where King Kong and Godzilla battle for 90 minutes throughout, like and
don't mess with King Kong's backstory. Like, don't make him a Titan and all that. He's not.
Like, that's the thing. He's not a Titan, but apparently he is because he grew into it. I don't know. We have letters. I'm sure that this show, people are going to be skewering me for this show forever, but we have letters. Should I read letters?
Yes, let's read letters.
We have a lot of letters.
That's because we haven't been on for a while.
We have a lot. So, Christopher McCulloch, one of our great letter writers, says, Mr. Burnett and Madam Bell, I think there are 3 phases of Godzilla movie. Phase 1, Godzilla humbles mankind. Our scientific hubris or lack of respect for nature invites calamity, served up Zilla style. Phase 2, Godzilla anti-hero to man. A new monster arrives and Godzilla's sacred work is put on hold in order to establish dominance. Thankfully, this also tuckers him out, and there's much rejoicing. Phase 3. At this point, so many monsters have been added to the roster that these movies are little more than smashing your toys together. Godzilla now spends so much time fighting monsters instead of destroying cities, he's a de facto hero. I don't think he's ever reached Gamera levels of child friendliness, but it was clear on which side the bread was buttered at this point. There's a steady progression from science panic allegory to Monster of the Week to Saturday morning cereal. I can enjoy every type of movie on the spectrum, but I understand going in which rubric to go by. I was a little worried early on in Kong vs. Godzilla that I was going to psych myself up into disappointment. Mechagodzilla was always my favorite toy to smash against Godzilla, and when cybernetics were introduced early on, I anticipated a third act twist. I am not the biggest fan of Mecha G's redesign, but I thought it was a good way to skirt around the bigger issue. How do we get out of the Kong-Godzilla matchup without it becoming dissatisfying? I anticipate from what Rob has said that this is the major bone of contention. Godzilla is not really the subject of this film, he's more of a catalyst for action. I don't disagree, but I think this is more of a problem of having a fight between Godzilla and King Kong. The audience is going to root for Kong either as the underdog or as a near-human creature capable of emotion. I don't care how much bigger you've made him since he's punching above his weight. I give the movie credit for not insulting us by giving Kong the upper hand against Godzilla without magical assistance. But he did have magical assistance. I especially liked in the first fight when Godzilla is shown swimming through a battleship while Kong struggles to break some chains. No real contest is being worked up to here. I also like the callback to the original Kong vs. Godzilla by having electricity revivify Kong. As you know, electricity makes primates stronger. There were a few things I could have done without. As I mentioned, Mechagodzilla's design wasn't great, and like the monsters, my interest in Godzilla's humans and Kong's humans is commensurate with how important the monsters are to the plot, such as it is. More broadly, I find myself a little consternated by the uncoupling of Godzilla from Japan. There's a little less with every movie, and there wasn't much to begin with. This time round, I think there was one Japanese main character who was a bad guy with maybe 3 lines. The significance of a map in the background showing Godzilla's route to Tokyo being redirected to Hong Kong was not lost on me. Maybe I'm just reading too much into that one. Speaking of Hong Kong, its skyline isn't familiar enough to me to be truly satisfied by its destruction. And as much as I like the Vern Burroughs World Beneath angle, I can't be the only one who thinks it was a missed opportunity turning Hong Kong Island into King Kong Island. All in all, 3 movies into this incarnation of the Big G, and I think we've now hit every phase. I enjoyed Kong vs. Godzilla because I think it's a throwing toys together movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good letter, Christopher. I like that. I don't disagree with you. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. Sky writes in and says, Rob and Elysabeth, unfortunately, I was disappointed with Godzilla vs. Kong. The fight scenes were mecha metal, but the story was trash. I liked Millie Bobby Brown's character, Madison, in King of the Monsters, but don't care about her storyline at all in this film. Remind me, why was Kyle Chandler in this movie? Julian Dennison and Brian Tyree Henry, Bernie and Josh, were terrible. I wish these 3 were not even in the movie at all. Let Madison discover what is bothering Godzilla, not Bernie. The focus seemed to be primarily on King Kong as if it was his movie, which is disappointing for me because I am Team Godzilla, goddammit, me too! I don't have any notable verisimilitude issues with King of the Monsters, but Godzilla vs. Kong is a different story. I was left sighing and physically upset with the incredibly stupid plot. Sky, you and I park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. Godzilla's atomic breath drilled a hole to the center of the Earth in moments. What? King Kong and Godzilla stood on a battleship and fought while it was still afloat? It's a cool
Yeah.
poster, but it threw me out of the film. The physicist said when you pass into the hollow Earth area, there's a planet's worth of gravity that hits you. But King Kong and others can just pass through it with no problem. When in the hollow Earth they find the energy source and transmit data in moments to Mechagodzilla,
Yeah.
this is not how it should work. You would need the physical sample, not just the data from it. That's like analyzing gold or oil, etc. The analysis of it doesn't allow you to have it. All this said, I'll go to the cinema and see it again in 3D soon because the fight scenes are amazing and I want to support the cinema. In my opinion, King of the Monsters was a much better film. Yes, I agree. I hope you enjoyed the fight. Do you think Godzilla jobbed? Godzilla totally jobbed, Sky. Godzilla was jobbed in this movie. Godzilla was, and like you said, racist, speciesist against Godzilla. Godzilla just, and at the end, you know what? You cut from a giant Godzilla in the city, like leaving, to a distant shot, like he's already in the ocean, floating away. We don't even get a great hero shot at the end when Godzilla's like, motherfuckers, I am still here, fuck you. And you better remember me and do some great Godzilla roar. We don't even get that. He like slinks off. I'm telling you, this movie is speciesist. Speciesist. Martin Lawrence writes in, greetings and salutations, Rob. With Godzilla being thrust back into the big screen, I wanted to give a shout out to a much maligned Godzilla film, The Son of Godzilla. I know that a lot of fans didn't like the way Godzilla was heading, but after rewatching Son of Godzilla again recently, I forgot how much heart the film had. Unlike a lot of Godzilla films, the human characters had a semi-decent story to act through, and how can you not get emotional after the final scene in the snow? I would love to get your thoughts on this classic. Yours sincerely, Martin Lawrence. Well, you know how I feel about Son of Godzilla, Elizabeth? It can be summed up in the fact that I have the Son of Godzilla right behind me at all times. There he is. Look at that design. There's a lot of heart right there. You know what? King Kong doesn't have a son.
No. But
I love Son of Godzilla.
Who
I
taught
even
him
like
sign language.
That's true. He's got a little. Yeah, but that's not having a son. I also like Godzilla's Revenge, which is a terrible movie, but Minya's badass in it. So there you go. Tom Jr. Jackson writes in, hello, Ace and Rob.
Hello.
Once again, it is I, your existential Forrest Gump, Tom Jr. Jackson, and today you are getting a 2-review letter from me. So buckle up and keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times, and please keep clear of the tram doors. First up, Godzilla vs. Kong. I was up for 3 a.m. my time on the East Coast to watch this film. Yes, I watched it on HBO Max and streamed it on my Roku Steam Bar. Yes, it's not that big, but ding dang, Rob, it sounds like I have a giant sound system in my room. I love this movie from the opening shot of Kong waking up and taking a shower. That scene reminded me a little of the opening to Shrek, and the song choice was perfect. I love the dynamic of the little girl with Kong, and yes, I was surprised to see that they had Kong in a contained area, and I thought he was really outside. Now, of course, a film like this needs a bad guy played by Damien Bashir, and he played it like a typical bad guy, which made me want to hate him, because he's an evil Frenchman. I love the design of Kong and Godzilla, and the fight scenes were just epic and beautiful. I was just awestruck by this film. It was a popcorn film. It doesn't matter if you're Team Zilla or Team Kong. Yes, it does. What matters is that you have a good time watching it. I didn't. That is what this film is, a good time popcorn film that can be watched on a rainy day or night if you're into watching movies at night. I've watched this film 4 times so far. My 9-year-old niece was wondering what I was watching, and when she heard Millie Bobby Brown was in it, she watched it with me. She loves Stranger Things, and I had her hooting and hollering as well, so that was a good thing to do with her. You know, when she's not being a typical 9-year-old, it was nice to see Kyle Chandler and Millie Bobby Brown return for this film as well. At the time I've written this letter, Godzilla vs. Kong has made $27.9 million at the American box office, and it could possibly head to $42 million in the next 2 days. Impressive. Most impressive. On to our second feature, News of the World. This picture is directed by Paul Greengrass and stars Tom Hanks and takes place in the Old West of Texas in 1870, where Tom Hanks plays a man named Captain Jefferson Kyle Kidd, who is formerly a Confederate soldier who now travels from town to town and reads news from around the country and the world to the people of the towns he travels to. Apparently, this was a real job back then. Think Walter Cronkite coming to your town to read the news. So while Captain Kidd is traveling to the next town, he encounters a wagon that is turned over on its side, and he finds a young girl, and it's right here that our story truly begins. The film itself is based on a novel by Paulette Giles. I own the 4K version of News of the World, as do I. I love this film. I haven't seen it. The picture on the 4K was beautiful, especially when you see those sweeping views of wide open spaces and shots of the desert. The colors were so visual and vivid as well, and the sound was great too. Now I know that Week O Westerns is over, but I think this picture would be a perfect addition to the theme of that week, or really any time you choose. This was by far one of my favorites of the pictures released in 2020. Great story, great plot, and to me it's just a great Western, which you don't see enough of these days. And so we come to the end of this epic double letter to you both, and I hope you enjoyed it. I always try and give just enough of the plot to tease the film, because if you give too much away, well, no one will want to watch it. So, dynamic duo of WINEning, I bid you farewell, and will write again to you both soon. Take care, Tom Jr. Jackson. Well, Tom, thanks for writing in.
Thank you.
Very much appreciate. Always good to see you too.
Yeah, I want to see that.
We have that. I have that, so we can watch it. A lot of people have been sending in super chats and things. Why don't we get over to them?
Okay.
And see what they have to say. So let's see what they have to say. So let's get down. Let's get down here. Wow, there's a lot. Black Phillip Alvarez wrote us something. Here we go. Willow. Charlie J sends in a tip and says, "Hey, Rob and Elysabeth, hope you had a great day. I gotta say, I loved watching Godzilla beat the shit out of the fat ape, the king of the monsters with the W. This really did feel like a long movie, which makes me a little sad, but Godzilla won, so I'm okay." Did Godzilla win, though? I don't know, Charlie. Ray Valero became a member of the channel. Thank you, Ray. Willow says, "Do you think the scaling in Godzilla vs. Kong is inconsistent? The two seemed so much larger during their second battle in the city than they were during the first battle on the top of the aircraft carrier." Yes.
Yeah, they were huge.
They were huge, and they were not as huge. I think the scaling was inconsistent, and that's yet another thing that bothered me about the movie. I think you're absolutely right, Willow. Another thing about the film that maybe subconsciously made me go crazy. Black Phillip Alvarez says, "Thanks for covering Godzilla vs. Kong. I actually saw this in theaters, and it looked great. I also made my own review with my partner and Steve on my channel. Thanks for subscribing, by the way, Elizabeth." I didn't know Black Phillip Alvarez had a channel you could subscribe to.
Yes.
Well, I'll have to do that. Go find his channel and subscribe. Willow says, "Also, there should be subtitles for Gorilla and Kong. I wouldn't be surprised if during the scene where Godzilla had his foot on Kong's neck and they were roaring at each other, they realized their mothers were both named Martha." Oh, man. Oh, man. But you're right. I mean, Kong can speak. He knows how to sign. So,
yeah.
Which means he must know English as well.
He signs in English.
He signs in English. So, I mean, I would love to see Godzilla's like, "Get the fuck off me," and Kong's
but
like...
he's a reptile. He's not...
No, I mean Kong saying that to Godzilla. When Godzilla's standing on him,
Sign that to him?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would have actually been... if Kong can sign, how do you not say a swear word? Like, how does he not sign some...
Because, yeah, he'd have to be taught that. And he's
Yeah, I
not going
guess
to be
that girl
taught that
doesn't-
by a little girl.
I know. I guess so. Chris C. sends in a super chat and says, "The scene I wanted to see was when Godzilla had Kong down and was stepping on his chest. Kong should have looked up and said, 'Just save Mothra.' And Godzilla says, 'Why did you say Mothra?'" Yes, that would have been funny. Claudius is here. Hello, Claude. One half of our favorite couple, our official couple on the Burnettwork. Claudius, he put a picture of his boat being towed by a tugboat.
Oh, very cool.
To get service. Claudius says, "I have a rule for my action-adventure fights. Every fight should be as good as Rocky 1, 2, and 3, and yes, even 4. Every punch should have weight and impact. The antagonists must have measurable abilities, and their skills should be well matched. In Godzilla vs. Kong, King Kong is clearly the underdog. He cannot project atomic fire, so he has a slim chance like Rocky against Apollo and Ivan Drago. Fortunately, Kong finds Stormbreaker in the Savage Lands. Godzilla still breaks Kong. In my humble opinion, the fights in Godzilla vs. Kong had more verisimilitude than Batman v Superman. It reminded me of the New York City battles in Avengers 1 and Superman 2. Even though Godzilla doesn't execute a long-distance drop kick, the fights were still awesome." I mean, they were. Someone said that there were human characters in this film. I remember this little girl who could sign with Kong. I don't want to remember anyone else. Someone said there was a story, like the story that gets Rocky to fight Clubber Lang. Who cares? Claude, I'm right there with you, son. Right there with you. Bunyan Snipe says, I hated how they envisioned the Hollow Earth. I always thought the Earth's core would act as an interior sun, and you would walk on the underside of the crust. Where did the light come from, and why did the radiation not kill the humans?
Yes.
Where did the light come from? It looked like it was a bright, shiny day in the Hollow Earth.
Did.
You know,
You're
and
right.
like you're right, man. Again, where did all this light come from?
From the core?
You know, the energy that's pulsating. I don't know.
From the radiation.
I don't know. S. Beam says, all that was good about this movie were the effects. The story was confusing. How long it had been since the last movie. Technology's really advanced since the last one. They were pretty quick to have ships that could travel to the center of the Earth. Well, they were already building those, apparently. Maximus is Claude's, he has a mental problem where Maximus is one of his alter egos. Right. Elizabeth, post-Gump society. This is Maximus. Let me explain, Burnett. After the events of Skull Island 73, Kong started watching The Truman Show on an abandoned TV. After Truman quits in 98, Ed Harris decides to build a new dome on Skull Island. That would, you know what, that would be more of that would make more sense to me. I would be into that. Checkers the Inventor sends in a super chat and says, King of the Monsters ended with Rodan and the other kaiju alive. Well, in the opening credits of this movie, it said they were all deceased. So maybe they, you know, there was some kind of a, I don't know, battle of something. S-Beam sends in a super chat. Well, thanks, S-Beam. That was your sticker. Thanks for that. Checkers the Inventor goes on to say, King of the Monsters end credits implied Godzilla was helping humanity greatly. They seem to drop that plotline for a more mass appeal, simple movie. I don't know if this was a simple movie. I don't even know. I mean, it was convoluted. Mm-hmm. Preston Bell says, when Godzilla had Kong pinned down in Hong Kong, I was voiceovering in my head what they were saying to each other. Godzilla, why did you say that name? Kong, save Martha, save Martha. I know. I mean, you can't not think about that when you're watching this movie. Ash Chauhan says, Godzilla needed to be a supporting character in this film. His arc from prehistoric remnant to king of all monsters was established in his 2 solo films. He still is the king after defeating Kong. Kong needed to be fleshed out after only 1 solo film. All right, I could see that. Checkers the Inventor says, Toho Studios specifically asked Legendary that Godzilla not emote. Kong is easier to make the protagonist. Interestingly, the director is a Godzilla fan over Kong. I like Adam Wingard. I'm a fan of his work. He's a nice guy. But the script, I thought the script was just a mess.
Yeah.
I thought the direction was good, though. There's a lot of great stuff in it. Scarpad's Comic Treks says, Rob, the end solution of the humans was the Pepsi syndrome mechanism. Godzilla for the win. Yeah, they poured what? Was it Pepsi or whatever? Is that what you mean? Into the, here we go, let me just dump this
whiskey.
You know, whiskey, whatever. Let me just pour it right into the machine and save everybody. I mean, come on, man.
Whiskey saved the day, babe.
Whiskey, I guess I have to keep drinking it. S-Beam says, the fights in this movie are awesome. Now Adam Wingard has been given Thundercats, a childhood favorite of mine. Hopefully it doesn't end up all over the place like this movie did. Well, I think it'll probably be, you know, more straightforward.
Hopefully.
Ash Chowan says, Godzilla is the Superman to Kong's Batman. Now that they've made amends and are essentially protectors of the Earth, I don't know where the Monsterverse goes from here. Maybe they team up to fight space kaiju like Monster X and Space Godzilla in sequels. I wouldn't mind that. I love Space Godzilla. I have him right here too. Look, here's Space Godzilla.
Zardoz.
Yeah, here's Space Godzilla. He's never too far. I mean, what a great design this is. Space Godzilla is badass, and I love him. So I would like that. I mean, I think the next movie they have to involve aliens. If they make another one, aliens. D Duval 159 says, or D Duval 59 says, this was way better than King of the Monsters. Better fights. Not every fight was in a thunderstorm. Mecha Godzilla. No gonorrhea jokes. No bad human drama. I don't know, man. I really like King of the Monsters. it felt more like a throwback to an old Toho movie, and I was there for it. I really liked it. Maximus says, Burnett, you sheltered man. Maximus again. Everyone knows there's a trans-Pacific tunnel from LA to Hong Kong. Wait, that's not public knowledge yet. Damn it, is that classified? Erase this tip, Burnett, and hide those alien alloys that I sent you. Mail. Okay, I will, Maximus. I don't want to give up your secrets. Guy from the King's Highway sent in a super chat. I super chatted you on Friday on an edible. I'm not sad anymore. Screw it. Here's $5. He said he was very sad. Guy from King's Highway.
Oh, don't be sad.
Don't be sad. You can't be sad.
Don't
Look,
be sad.
you know, there's still more Captain America and Winter Soldier, or Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, edibles, if they're making you sad, then maybe you shouldn't be doing edibles.
Yeah, just smoke a bowl. Checkers the Inventor goes on to say, Kong's ancestors yielded the axe. They had been battling Godzilla for years, but this Kong had never met him. That was explained. Oh, well, okay. There you go. That makes sense. I mean, I
guess we checked out too much.
Yeah. Bob Korzak. I mean, you know, that's good that they battled. But why? Like why would they be battling Godzilla? Like, in the Hollow... Like, why wouldn't they all go back to the Hollow Earth?
Yeah.
And just chill out.
And just live happily ever after.
The Hollow Earth made me think of Indiana Kong and the Temple of Dumb, says Bob Korzak. Oh. I mean, I thought the Hollow Earth was beautiful.
I thought it was interesting.
I would like to have seen the whole movie set in the Hollow. Like,
yes, me too.
Like, go to the Hollow. The Hollow Earth was interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
But
I know
don't make that King Kong's origin.
Yeah.
He's from Skull Island.
Magic K says Rob should show Elizabeth the 1962 Kong versus Godzilla. I don't care if you show her the Japanese version or the U.S. version. Just watch that movie. Well, I have both, and they're a lot more fun. No, this movie, I'm bagging on this movie too much because I did love the fights. The visual effects
Yeah,
were
it wasn't awful.
Unbelievable. I just thought it was needlessly convoluted. D. Duval 59 says, King of the Monsters was disgusting. Having the Japanese son of a Hiroshima survivor save Godzilla by nuking him in the face is gross on a few levels. Well, I guess you could look at it that way.
I mean, he's already radioactive.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that. All right. I'd have to do a reassessment. Maybe I'll have to watch King of the Monsters one more time in 4K. The Squish Show says, it makes me feel better to hear you say that this film is flawed. I felt the same. That being said, we're finally going to get a 235-1 transfer of the 79 King Kong extended television edit on Blu-ray. I know that is coming out from Shout Factory. Very excited to get that, which is cool. Video Hunter D sends in a super chat and says, Rob, we can answer your questions. Ask us. Okay. I don't know who Video Hunter D. I don't know where to ask you. We could do a show together. Brian Cruz sends in a super chat. Great box office numbers considering the pandemic. It's the kickstart the industry needed. Actually, it is, and I'm totally there for that. And I think that's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of going to bring us to the end of the show. But you have news.
Yes, I do.
Why don't you tell the crowd at home your news?
Can you move that?
Oh yes, can I move that? So would you like to? Let's get off this shot, and so we can see your lovely face now.
Yeah. So my movie the first part is finished, and we're going to put it up after the show. Doll Quest Sci-Fi.
It's your stop motion movie.
My stop motion movie using the figure that I made
for art class.
Yeah, and some of Rob's figures.
Yeah.
Figures.
So yes, you will get to see that. I'm gonna put that up in it'll probably debut in a 9:30, 10 if I make it a premiere, so you can watch it.
Cool.
So there you go. Well, okay, I guess that brings us. A DKG Customs. That's Dunk in the UK says, fun chatting with you the other night.
Yes.
It was good chatting. It's good chatting with you as well. So it comes to it. We have our bottoms up scale.
Yes, we do.
So what is our bottoms up scale, Elizabeth?
So our bottoms up scale is from 1 to 4 glasses because there are 4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
And so the Richard says, you look like a doll.
Well, thank you.
You are a doll. So I ask you, how many glasses, between 1 to 4 glasses, how many glasses would you give Godzilla versus Kong?
I'm going to give it 2 glasses of wine.
2?
2.5?
Well, I was going to give it 2.5. You can give it 2.
2.5.
I'm going to give it 2.5.
2.5.
I'm going to give it 2.5 only because...
It was. I mean, I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it either. And the monster battles are epic.
They were pretty cool.
I think that Claude's point is... I wanted to see more, I wanted to see the battles last a little bit longer and become more I wanted more back and forth. I love the battle in the ocean. That was
that was very cool.
And to me, that was the highlight of the movie.
Yeah.
And I wanted the battle at the end in Hong Kong to be more scrappy and more, but what can you do?
What can you do? 2.5.
So, yeah, Ash Chowan says, fun fact, the secret 600-mile-per-hour tunnel relay system that took our heroes from Florida to Hong Kong was constructed by Bruce Wayne, builder of the same tunnel that took him from his office chair in Wayne Tower directly to the Batcave in Batman Forever. Well, I'll buy that. There you go. All right.
There you go.
There you go. I'll take it. Cheers to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gentle beings, I want to say I forgot to thank my moderators on our Let's Get Physical Media show. I want to thank our moderating staff, beginning with Mike Bodden and the Richard. Brian Hepburn is here. Justin Toner is here. Bunyan Snipe is here. And I want to thank all of my blue wrenches for being the way they are. Darren J. Seeley is here. So I think I said everybody, right? I want to thank my moderating staff, so thank you guys. We are coming back. Our next movie that we're doing for Whining About Movies is Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch, the extended version, because you've never seen it.
I have not.
She's never seen Sucker Punch. And we're going to have a special free the toy while we do it. While we have a Whining About Movies.
We're going to free a toy?
We're going to free 2 toys. Free the toys.
That's awesome.
Because I have 2 Sucker Punch figures. They're not open.
We're going to free them.
We're going to free the toys. So that'll be fun. We're going to do that, and I don't know when that'll be. Your schedule's busy. It might not be until next weekend.
Probably.
Because of school.
Yep.
How much more do you have to do before you have your time off?
Just 3 more weeks, and then I have 3 weeks off. And then my schedule changes next term.
And we can do more whining during those 3 weeks off.
We can. We could do one every day if you wanted.
We could do one. We could do catch up.
We could catch up.
Got a lot of movies to watch, but Sucker Punch we're going to watch. I don't know what you guys are going to think, but Sucker Punch. We're going to do it. Join us. The ace has never seen it.
I've not seen it.
She's not seen it. Mm-hmm. And on that note...
Oh, watch Doll Quest.
Doll Quest I'm going to put up on the Burnettwork very shortly. And remember... Take us out.
Everyone you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen.
All you have to do is listen. And with that, we say to all of you,
have a better night.
Have a better knife. A butter knife. Better knife. Better night. Whatever. You know what I mean. Thanks for watching, everyone. And thanks for the generous support via Super Chats and tips. And also, if you want to send us a letter free of charge, you can go to theburnetwork.net and always write us a letter. There's on the top right-hand corner, it shows you where you can do that. Write us. We'll read it on the air. So, thank you very much.